Hi everyone, welcome to Allison Appreciates. Welcome to the channel. I'm Allison and thank you for being here. Thank you to all my subscribers. This community is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. We're just going to have so much fun here. So thank you for tuning in as we talk about law of assumption, fun stuff, Neville Goddard principles, and real life examples to really kind of solidify the teachings. And there's a dash of law of attraction there too, because that was my path to law of assumption, and without it and that strong basis, I might not have been able to really access law of assumption, which I think is absolutely my favorite of any spiritual teaching I've ever encountered. And I have definitely been involved with several, and Toltec wisdom was huge for me as well, but law of assumption is bonkers it for me. I love it. So this is inspired by Jess. Hi Jess, shout out to her. And this is about when we have someone that gets under our skin and we just can't look away, we can't lessen how we feel about them. And of course, I'm going to tell you right now, we can. But what happens in those instances when there's someone up close to us that, let's say, the work of the day depends on them showing up and them bringing it and them being a good team player, yeah, of course it's going to be super challenging if they're not like with you on things, of course, right? And let's say you're even diametrically opposed and like you just disagree with everything they do, blah, 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 blah. That's a really strong stance to take, and it can be super hard to shake because there's so much momentum there and how much we dislike this person. So this isn't really about giving them a free pass, okay? People ought to do the best they can at their jobs. But this is about gentling all of their behavior and all of the nonsense that surrounds them so it doesn't wreck your day. Because if we let all of their actions, and you could even say, I don't agree with their values, I know some of their values, I don't agree with their values. If we let their actions and their values jar us out of our good feeling place, that's not on them, that's on us. So no matter what is happening around us, it is up to us to find peace. And we can do it. It just does take a little practice. And when you're next to someone close up who, by all accounts seems to suck, and it, drains your life energy just thinking about them, of course it can be difficult at times, but we can reframe this every single step of the way. We can say that our desire for them to be less of a pain in the butt is big desire for improvements, right? When we feel strong negative emotion, we're experiencing a strong negative situation, we're asking for an improvement. But it is not up to them to change for us to let it in. It is up to us to change to let it in. And as we know with everyone as you pushed out, they don't change until we change us. The mirror can't change until we change. And again, this is not about giving them a free pass, but this is about looking at their behavior differently so it doesn't affect us so much. Because when it affects us deeply, then we can't move forward. And guess what? Not being able to move forward sucks. Because we want to move forward and we want to be joyful. We came to the planet to experience joy, to put everything into perspective and experience joy anyway, right? That's what we came for. We didn't come to just put up with shit. Pardon my French. We didn't, though. We didn't come up for that. We came to the earth to experience joy in physical sensation, to experience joy in touch it, taste it, feel it, hear it ways, okay? Obviously in the emotional ways too, because we ground ourselves into our new reality by feeling it real first, right? Not by seeing as believing, by building our faith. Building faith and making belief the first thing, feeling it as real the first thing before we can see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, because that always comes afterwards. It always comes afterwards. If you can trace anything back in your life, it always comes second. Wanting to be born on this planet came before feeling, tasting, touching, hearing, being born on this planet. So it's always that way. So, how to use this practically? There are a few things we can do. Obviously, people who love Ho'oponopono, they can use that prayer. For me, it's more about recognizing that when I feel awful and someone else has made me feel awful, that I've given my power away, that I've allowed their behavior to throw me off my game, and that will not do for me. So I recognize that there's something that I have to do to let go of their behavior, to let go of their opinions, maybe even their values, and refocus back on me and what I want and how I want to exist and be in this world. I do not want to look at someone's behavior and have it make me feel bad, because that just doesn't feel good to me, right? And our emotional guidance systems are with us for a reason. When we feel bad, technically it's a lie, right? Technically it's not true. We are pure love at our very deepest essence. We are God attempting to be conscious in this physical body. God is pure love. So anytime we're feeling negative emotion towards someone, and it's okay, it happens, but anytime we are doing that, we're not becoming God, becoming alive in the physical body, right? We're turning away from God. We're casting a sin. So to cast aside the former state as a sin, we must recognize that we are sinning. We're sinning. We're missing the mark. We're missing the mark of being joyful, of having a lovely life, of putting that behavior over there and not focusing on it so much. So one thing I like to do is to not give it attention. Does that mean maybe I have to work harder or work differently or work smarter? Maybe. But guess what? If I'm looking at that behavior less, I'm going to see it less. And eventually, because everyone is pushed out and their reflection will change, this person's behavior will change. It will. Or they will vibrate out of my experience. Both of those things can happen and have happened, and I've seen both happen to myself and others. And the other thing is, we can see them doing well somewhere else. Just super general, Joseph Murphy. Yeah, they're doing great, and they're no longer part of my experience. And you're like, oh, do I have to wish them great? Because, like, I don't think they deserve that, whatever. It doesn't matter. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to see them away from you. So if you add the detail of they're doing great away from you, so much the better. Like, it's just easier for me anyway. And maybe this would take time for you if you've never done this before, but it's easier to be like, yeah, they're doing great and they're super far away from me, because living the end works for everyone else as well as yourself. That's why whenever anyone brings a complaint to me of like illness or like a situation they don't like, I just go right to the end. No, you're in your fullest of health, because that's what Jesus did. And it made so much sense to me when it just makes sense to do that for everyone and yourself. Just see yourself in your fullest of health. See yourself in the end, because our imagination is key. So I can imagine anything I want up here, no matter what is going on around me. And it just takes practice to do that. So that's something else, is seeing them in their fullest of health and yet far away from you. And they have found their perfect place. I don't get to interact with them anymore, and that's okay. And they found their perfect place. And by seeing them there often, at least once a day, you are helping to create the space for which that can happen, right? That they will just vibrate right out of your experience. And now something else with, pardon me, everyone is pushed out. If there's things about this person, this is going to be hard to hear, but I'm saying it anyway because I've seen it be true for me. If there are things in this person that you don't like, that could be things that you don't like in yourself. And I'll give an example from my own life about this. There was a friend who I found was like constantly needing reassurance, and she needed a lot of it from me. And I just found it like, I don't want to give you reassurance. Like, I don't want to do it. But everyone is pushed out, there was definitely a time where I needed reassurance, and a lot of it because I couldn't give it to myself because I didn't know how yet. I hadn't built that muscle of giving that reassurance. So when everyone is you pushed out, that was just a part of me that I didn't like, that I was seeing in her. That's all. That's all. And another thing, sometimes people will bring me a complaint and I will go to the end very quickly and go to the opposite and blah, blah, blah. And I just do it, right? I just do it. And I'm not trying to downplay their feelings, but I just know that going to the end, especially as a coach, is what really works. So if I get there, then maybe they'll come with me. And I remember thinking, I had this friend who would just kind of say the opposite of what I always said, and I got annoyed by it. But that's what I do too. That's what I do too, because it's best for me. So everyone is you pushed out. So when we don't like something about someone else, sometimes there is an element there that is in us that we don't like about ourselves. And the best thing to do there is just to forgive both parties. Just forgive ourselves, forgive the other person, and move on. The other thing is just where our attention goes, energy flows. What we give our attention to becomes bigger. What we focus on becomes bigger. Do I want to focus on this person who is making every day at work miserable? No. And I can tell you this from being an elder stateswoman, because I am in my late 40s. I do not go to work and have a bad time anymore. Because guess what? My life is too short and work is very long. I do not go to work and have a bad time anymore. I do not go to work unless I get to have fun. So I make my own fun. I bring the fun. And people will come along with me generally, because who doesn't want to have fun at work? Who doesn't want to have fun and get paid at work? So you have to look at that and decide that just because they have whatever they have going on doesn't mean it gets to impact you. Can you find a way to make this journey easier for yourself? Find ways to make what's happening benefit you. Oh, I get to find these workarounds. I get to be more creative at work. I get to show more value because compared to that person, I know I bring a lot of value. Oh, I get to be more forgiving. I get to practice forgiveness. That's going to make it so easy to forgive someone I truly love by forgiving this person that I really don't, I'm really not on the same page with. This is an opportunity to love someone that I don't like. You can love everyone. You don't have to like everyone, but you can love everyone. And wouldn't they benefit from your love? Wouldn't they maybe be a little less miserable with elements of your love? Showing them love anyway, showing them some grace anyway. And the last thing I'll say is people who are miserable and treat people poorly and cut corners at work are not happy people, right? They're doing the best they can from where they are, and maybe that's a shitty place that they're doing it from, and they're going to a shitty place still, because it's like a drug addict. Drug addicts do not take drugs to feel good. They take drugs to feel normal, to come up to their baseline. So her baseline or his baseline or their baseline is crummy. It's crummy because they practice so much momentum of not feeling good. They feel so powerless that they're going to try to lord power over their people to feel better. And B, they're scrambling. Their self-concept, their ability to enjoy the world at work especially is just not good. It's not good. So if you can offer them any grace at all, it's going to feel easier to be nicer to them for you. Just because holding on to anger is partly what creates cancer, right? Holding on to negative emotions and not processing them out is what creates dis-ease in the body, because it's the opposite of ease, right? It's dis-ease. So you're not doing yourself any favors by just constantly being upset with them and constantly being mad. And I understand that it's not easy, because I've been there too, and it's a process. But the more you practice this, and the more you tell yourself, it gets easier to thought flip around this person. It gets easier to not think about them. It gets easier to remind myself my imagination is more powerful than the 3D, is more powerful than the 3D they try to drop at my doorstep. You do not accept garbage. I'm not saying that at all. But when they try to drop garbage off at your feet, you just ignore it. You just ignore it and get the work done. If you have to put blinders on and focus on the work, you do it. You do it, because letting them make you feel bad, no, you let yourself feel bad because of their actions. And trust me, I was there for several years, especially as a people pleaser in my 20s, especially as a teen. 1000% yes. Probably half my 30s too. But no, 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 no. You don't do that anymore because it feels terrible. And in a way, it enables them, right? If you let them make you feel bad, you've come down to their level, right? And now you've just enabled them. No, we don't do it anymore. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's unacceptable. We just don't do it anymore. So I know this was a fiery topic, and I'm pretty passionate about it because I do believe that everyone deserves grace, and I do believe that loving just feels so much better than being upset by someone and being angry at someone. And it's okay to feel a little bit of those things for sure, especially if it's something recently just happened and it really messes everything up and it messes other things up for you. But if you remember that nothing is messed up and that you can come back from anything and everything is always working out for you, even if you can't see it in this moment, and to go back to your imagination where you're so powerful that it doesn't matter what they did in the 3D, like that's the ticket. That's the ticket. This is an opportunity to make your 3D not powerful at all, to ignore it, to discount it, to just say that's old stories, to just say that's just a purge. Whatever you have to do, I don't care. But come back to your imagination, where all your power is. And this is a good reminder for me too, for any situation that feels out of your control. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because no matter what is happening out here, I get to create what I want in here, which will eventually reflect out there, as long as I'm being persistent and consistent. So I know this was definitely longer than I meant, but this is how I feel about how to deal with someone who is close up in your experience, and the relationship is going poorly and it seems to affect every element of your working life, because we can't have it. We don't have time for it. Guess what we have time for? Joy. Guess what we have time for? Improvements. Guess what we have time for? Letting go of this stuff, because again, it doesn't serve us and it just keeps us stuck. And that just won't work, because you have too much to do. You've too much gorgeous life to live. You have too many things to look forward to. You have too many things to daydream and to experience in your outer reality after spending some time really enjoying it in here. You have too many things that you want to look around when you're about to leave this life experience and say, I'm happy. I enjoyed my time on the planet. Yeah, I had some things I had to work through, but I'm so happy that I enjoy myself being here on this planet. I'm so happy that I found my way to joyful experiences and to create them for myself. Creation is finished and I allowed it. Okay, so those are my thoughts about when we have someone close up in our life. And it can be a person or family as well, right? So use these principles for people in your family life as well. Okay, so a passionate rant, passionate nonetheless. We'll focus on the passion part. And I hope this helps some of you who maybe have someone in your life, even an SP, where there's all these things, right? Also, don't fight with people in your mind. Do not argue with people in your mind. Just don't do it. Catch yourself and redirect those thoughts. And I will link one of my favorite videos about that from Matt Turner, Thrive Mind Academy, down below. He was my coach last year. He's amazing. And then you can go check him out. His videos are dope, and he's got such a great hold of all this stuff and has a really unique perspective. Love him. So I will, even though I made this too long, I will cut this down later when I learn how to edit, because I'm imagining being able to learn how to edit, that I can afford an editing program, that I got that going on, and I know I'm going to get there. I know I can do that. I know I can learn how to edit and make my background look cool and stuff. But, one thing at a time. Okay, rant over. Love you. Thank you for stopping by to the channel. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for sharing if you find something that's useful to you that you think other people need to hear. And we're just going to keep having a good time here. We really will. In spite of the ranty nature of this video, we're going to have a good time here. But I think it's stuff that everyone needed to hear, right? I know that at one time, if your avatar for a client or a subscriber is someone who you used to be who needed this knowledge, then I'm absolutely speaking to my younger self as well. Like, I absolutely got trapped in these situations with close people and with work people. So I get it. I get it. You are not alone. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. You're not alone. I'm living in the end with you. Come with me. Live in the end too. All right. Ciao, Bellas.